Hello, hello, hey guys, hey sweet people, it is Foster from Inglês no Rádio. This is your daily dose of English. So today on the show we have a real surprise. So a lot of you probably know that Alexia and I have spent the last few months in Portugal, and now I am back in the good old United States of America. But we were in Portugal. We met perhaps one of the most interesting people in the world. And yes, we have her here on the show today. Virginia Franca is seriously one of the most interesting people that I have ever met in my life. I don't know how to say it any differently. She speaks a lot of languages and she speaks them perfectly. She is an incredible singer, a business owner. She is super weird, which I love. And she simply has a life full of crazy and fascinating experiences. So today on the show, you'll meet one of the most interesting people in the world, Virginia. But really fast, a word from our sponsors. So if you want to be a super interesting person like Virginia, there is one really easy way to do that. Learn how to speak more languages. The more languages you can speak, the more people you can meet, and the more amazing experiences you will have. It is seriously that simple. And of course, if you want to learn languages, you have to talk to people. And the best way to talk to native English speakers, professional English professors, whenever you want, wherever you want, is with Cambly. So you can visit Cambly.com or download the Cambly application on your phone, your smartphone, your iPhone, whatever, and use the promotional code Inglês no Podcast to get your first class for free. That is Cambly, Cambly. Go to Cambly.com and download the app. Use the promotional code Inglês no Podcast to get your first class for free. You should do it. Be interesting. And support the show at the same time. Okay, let's get on with the show with the most interesting person in the world, Virginia Franca. On with the show. Can I ask you another business question?
Yes, of course.
I'm just looking for recommendations.
Yes.
You talked about really the difficulty at the start, building a good foundation. That kind of scares me a lot because we've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now.
A business, only after 3 years, it starts to show if it has legs or not.
Yeah.
Only after 5 years, you reach the point that you have your own customers, followers, people that like you and that will continue supporting you no matter the path. So the first 5 years are always ups and downs and always one step ahead, 2 steps back.
Yeah, I think that's totally true in our case. The first 3 years, never know what the hell we're doing, always freaking out about money and everything. Now we're kind of figuring it out, but it's like this transitional mess.
So you're doing it right.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. So you talked about the difficult thing. What's your absolute most favorite thing about not being a corporate slave and owning your own business, being in charge of your own life?
It's the adventure itself. It's finding what customers are searching for, and I'm able to go and search for it and search to see if it exists, because as I only have made in Portugal and Portuguese creators, so I'm like, we are only 10 million, so I'm focused in a small country to try to show the best out of it, and independent projects, so no corporations.
Yeah.
So that I'm also useful for for those, because for the corporation, well, they have numbers, people. I'm the person that tries to give them then the most accurate feedback in numbers and to try to tell them, well, if you want to give the next step, you should go this country or that country because these are the tourists that love the most and that buy and that. So it's the adventure. It's the path. I really enjoy the path. Though not knowing what tomorrow brings, it really freaks me out, but it's also what moves me.
Yeah. What's the famous quotation? Like, the journey is not the destination, it's the journey itself.
Yes. And definitely that applies, especially to small projects, small local businesses, all of that. Of course, one day I want to take this and show it and presenting it in other countries, in other cities.
Take over the world.
Yes. Would show that, well, we're small, we're tiny, but we have really great people doing great things.
Yeah.
And being able to be a part of it, to be like the one presenting them, for me, it's amazing. But it's really the journey. It's really the not knowing what tomorrow. And so you have to be creative. And God, I'm a programmer. I'm not a creative. I work from, my brain has black and white. I've studied psychology.
Zeros and ones.
Yes. I've studied psychology because I really needed to understand why people keep pushing grace. Yeah. So now I know. Well, I know a little bit. But every day I learn from them because I work with creatives. Yeah. So it also makes me a better person. It teaches me things that logical. It's the thing. So I'm learning every day, and I love that.
That's beautiful. You are absolutely a very curious person. Okay, so last business question that I'm just stealing your time to get recommendations from you. We have a phrase in English that we say wearing a lot of hats, which means you're doing everything. And you are always here. You're always doing a shitload of things at the same time. Is that actually how it works? Because in our business, I feel like I'm a teacher. I'm not a programmer. But I'm also doing our website stuff. I'm editing podcasts and all of these things. Does that ever stop? How does that work?
Well, there comes to a point that you can start telling other people to do it for you, but probably you will miss. And probably you will not be able, you will want to control also that part. Yeah. So you're not doing the work itself, but you are still there and you're still doing it anyways. Yeah. But I think that's something that it's not so nice when you have your own business, but it's also because it's yours. You more than anyone else in the world wants to know exactly how it goes, because if you know how it goes for real, you can work directly in that part and
It's
take it over. Yes, because I've seen a lot of companies and a lot of small projects being born along the years, and especially in the 15 years that I was running, that I was in the previous company, in my previous job. So there were a lot of shops opening and closing, and because sometimes people think that you open a shop, you just have to have great projects there or great things there, and people will come and buy. Oh God, that's so wrong.
Build it and they will come.
Yes, and then ta-da, here it is. Well, if that happens, sorry, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
So it's really, it never stops in the end. But you will be working gladly because it's your baby.
Yeah,
it's yours.
Yeah.
But there comes a time when you can pay someone to do like that accounting part. God, all those small, tiny things that you can put someone doing it, and then you just have to go there and check.
Yeah, I don't even need to check. I'm really bad with numbers, so I'll let Alexi deal with that part. So I really appreciate the business advice, Virginia. This is a language podcast. So just really quick, I wanted to ask you a couple of things about language. So obviously you speak English extremely, extremely well.
Thank you.
What other languages do you speak?
Well, I only speak Portuguese, of course.
I only get ready.
French and Spanish. I understand Italian, but I'm not fluent. So I'm afraid of speaking Italian.
Okay, so Virginia is very humble. Your English is excellent. Your Portuguese is quite difficult for me to understand. So maybe you can work on that. Your Spanish is better than mine. I studied Spanish for 10 years. And your French, I don't speak French, but when you talk to French people, they seem to understand you great.
No, they're really cool. They always say that I have a great accent and so and so.
Yeah.
But in Portugal, we don't translate movies. We only subtitle them. So it's easier for us to get other languages, to understand other languages. Then you just have to like it. And I love traveling. So it's really important to learn as much languages as I can because, I'm visiting.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the coolest place you've traveled to? I hate that question. I don't know why I asked that question.
No,
What's one place you would recommend?
Well, not that I've traveled a lot, but I loved Egypt, but that was one of my dream trips.
Egypt?
Yes.
See the pyramids?
Those are definitely not the best.
I feel like
Egypt.
That's the dumb question that everyone asks.
But
Hey,
it's one of those things. Once I was there, I've been there for a week, more or less, doing the cruise in Nile. And when I got to the pyramids that are supposed to be one of the most beautiful things in the world, I was like, so all of the things that I've seen, really? This is what you present?
These rock triangles?
Yes. They have so many amazing temples, amazing, awesome temples all around in all the Nile. I would totally tell people to go there. And it makes us, I love places where I feel really, really small and tiny.
Yeah.
That I remember that, we're just one planet in a solar system, and then you have so many galaxies all around.
Damn it,
this
Virginia,
was so
you're
geek.
so deep.
This was so geek.
Profound. It's not geeky. It's beautiful.
That I really love going to places where I feel really small and tiny because...
Same.
Yeah, that makes me want to go into the next adventure and changing again my path. So that's why I'm not traveling as much lately.
Yeah. So can I ask you,
Yes.
with all your languages, a lot of people say like, okay, I speak a little bit of French and I speak Spanish, but it's like, okay, your French is horrible and your Spanish accent is terrible. With all of your languages, as far as I can tell, not only do you have a really high level of the language, but you also speak with a really good accent. Do you know what tips would you give to people that are trying to improve their language skills?
Well, if you love music, it's the best teacher.
Yes.
Well, after you.
No, we love teaching with music.
Music. If you want to learn French, music. If you want to learn English, music. And then watch the movies with real people talking.
Yes.
Please don't double it. It's just weird. Once I've seen Sylvester Stallone saying "Hola, ¿qué tal?" in a really, really weird voice. This was pretty much how he sound, and everyone else. No, Sylvester Stallone. Come on, he really has an awkward voice already. He doesn't need to be doubled. So yeah, watch movies and a lot of music. For me, music has been my teacher. I haven't studied so much. I'm from math. I studied sciences and mathematics. And
I think music is the best way to really get
to
the
improve
sounds
it.
right.
Yes, and practice as much as you can.
Awesome. So Virginia, I know you are a busy lady. I don't want to take too much of your time, but where can people find more about you, about the store? Obviously, we're going to put a lot of links in the show notes where people can come. Not only is this like an amazing store and Virginia's awesome, but this entire street and area of Porto is definitely worth visiting. So how can people find you?
So you just have to come to Porto and go to the art block. Please don't miss the art block. It's an old block work with galleries, art galleries, shops, independent shops that have the most unique things. Here you can really see what designers are doing differently, all with really great quality. You can actually meet the makers. A lot of the makers have their own shops here. So it's a very distinct part of the city. It's not so touristical, so no tourist traps here.
No.
Sorry.
No.
So
honestly, I would say that
Rua
do Rosário is probably my favorite street in Porto.
So you have, especially Rua do Rosário, it's where not all, but almost all of the best independent shops are.
Yeah,
I'm not just talking about Cru. We have really awesome shops all around.
It's the artistic hub.
And
for sure.
in Miguel Bombarda, it's where you have all the art galleries in a small mall with the makers there selling their own projects and jewelry and art. So
yeah.
it's so that you can really meet the culture of Portugal.
Yeah.
And really talk to locals. We talk a lot.
Yeah, I think people have perceived that. Virginia, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. So I will talk to you in like 10 minutes when we go upstairs, but it's always a pleasure talking to you.
No, thank you.
Thanks. See you guys very soon. Bye-bye.
Oi, pessoal! Muito obrigada por ter escutado mais um episódio do Inglês no Rádio. A gente fica muito, muito feliz quando vocês estão aqui conosco. E você que quer continuar recebendo novidades e recebendo recursos grátis, vai lá no nosso site, você vai encontrar tudo isso. Além disso, você vai saber quando que Sound School vai abrir para se tornar nosso aluno do melhor curso de inglês online que existe nesse mundão. Então é isso. Muito obrigada de novo por fazer parte da família Inglês no Rádio e te espero no próximo episódio.